right. I got to update my bio because it's actually been 27 years that we've been in business. I have employees who are actually not born when I started my company, which freaks me out many days when I see them. All my Cheers references go right over their head. I do want to say this was not the presentation I planned on giving. When Jessica first reached out to me and suggested that I talk about SEO, about how you can rank higher, how you can drive more search traffic, qualified search traffic to your website, and how you can grow your business that way, I was all in. I'm like, this is going to be great. I'm going to take the presentation that I just gave on SEO, I'll modify it for this audience, and we're going to be ready to rock. After all, I had been presenting or speaking and writing on SEO almost since my company started. In fact, I did some research as I was preparing, and I saw that one of my first newsletters ever was on SEO. It was back in the summer of 1998. It was so early on. How early on was it? It was so early on that actually I didn't reference Google at all. Google was about 9 months old, and most Americans had never heard of it. I didn't know about it. And so that just kind of gives you a sense of where we were back then. In fact, it was so long ago, I'm sure most of you, when I said newsletter, were thinking email, but in fact, it was a print newsletter that I wrote and designed and copied it at my dad's office and stuffed into envelopes and mailed out through the US Post to 50 to 100 subscribers. That was how we did things back then. Look at that. That is some OG SEO content. Call up the Smithsonian. But I kind of knew, because there's been so many changes in SEO over the last year, that if I showed up and did that, I wasn't really going to be preparing you to do SEO in 2024. To give you an idea, it would be kind of like if you had to play in the NFL tomorrow, and I said, sure, I can help you. Here's a little book. Read that. Spalding's Official Football Guide of 1906. I'm sure you'd pick up a few helpful to-dos, but it wouldn't really prepare you for that level of competition. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. That's why I kind of had to blow up this whole presentation and start fresh. And the reason why so many things have changed are because of two letters that you've heard plenty of today: AI. AI's impact on your marketing and your business, in fact, the whole world, is just mind-blowing. And the same is true with SEO. You've got generative SEO like ChatGPT, so businesses can create content at scale. Whether or not that content is any good is another discussion. A lot of the tools that we use now in SEO have AI built right into them. And then perhaps the biggest hurdle we have these days, AI overviews, which that's the official name for what Gemini, which is Google's AI, does, but also Bing did it too, and then there's Perplexity, which is a straight-up AI search engine. But let's just take a look at this, and I didn't bring my cheaters, and that's my confidence monitor up there, so I can't see this, so I'm going by memory, but I believe this was a search I did recently, and I'm sure you've seen things like this: how to kill dandelions on my lawn. So I did that search, and the top result is one of these AI overviews. We'll come back to that in a minute. Below that, I see my shopping ads, I see my search ads. Underneath that, there is no organic result until I start scrolling down the page. And on mobile, it's even worse. So let's just take a closer look at, if we click on that Read More section, we get something that looks just like this. And here it is. There's like 9 ways for me to kill the dandelions on my lawn that Gemini has scraped from the top results. And sure, at least they're crediting the top results, and I could click through, but really as a user, do I need to? I have 9 ways to kill dandelions. I don't really need to dig any further. So all the work that those websites did, all that content creation, is almost worthless, because Gemini basically just stole that traffic. No one's going to go to those links. That is the playing field that we're on today. So that was why I decided that, I'm just going to come with a new approach. I'm going to give you about 20 minutes of like how I think you should approach SEO in 2024. And then I know that some people learn better with those step-by-step best practices. So I'm going to take the original 30 minutes. I'm going to condense it down into 10 minutes. I'm going to talk even faster than I am right now. But don't worry, because at the end of the presentation, I'll have a QR code, and you can download everything I've said and all the tips and the SEO tips and the local SEO tips and the paid search tips. So what SEO isn't in 2024, it's not set it and forget it. This is not a one-time project. This is an infinite loop race that you can never stop until you're done with your business. Like, this is just what it's going to be like going forward. It's not about what's worked before, because things are constantly changing. And really, most importantly, SEO, it's not just about SEO. It's just part of what's going on. Your goal is not to rank #1 at the search engines. Your goal is to grow your business by driving more qualified traffic to your conversion points on your website. So what SEO is right now, at least the way I approach it is, it's about creating the absolute best web page on the internet that answers the problem that your ideal customer is suffering from right now. And if you do that, then you can win the SEO battle. So when I get started with a client or for ourselves, the first thing I say is just do a little research. This is free. Go to a search engine result page, a SERP. Start putting in the words that you wish you could come up for. And this is a search I did for lawn company near me. You could see what kind of issues I was having when I made up the slide deck, right? So the top result is what are called Google screened or local service ads. That's for certain types of businesses. Your industry may have them, your industry may not, but it's a paid ad. Below that, there's more sponsored ads, aka more paid ads. And then we get our first organic result. Except it's not a local business to near my home in southern Maine, it's Angie's List. A directory, aka a major publisher. These are the results we get for those best keywords that we used to be able to rank well for. It's these national or even global companies that have hundreds of people they can throw at these problems, big publishers, and Google tends to prefer them more than our small to medium-sized businesses. And as we scroll down the page, then I finally get some local results. So I do see 3 local companies that I might choose from. Below that, we get some rich snippets in there, so I can see searches that I didn't do that I might have done. And then one more organic listing, but again, it's from another major publisher. Nobody's really appearing on the first page for the very type of search result I did. Again, if you're going to go in, you have to see what the playing field looks like so that you can start to optimize your content. And as you do this, you might say, well, Rich, where do I start? What pages should I focus on? Because I can't do everything at once. And my suggestion is start with your money-making pages. And those are your service pages. The pages, and I see this because I look at my Google Analytics, my GA4, my client's GA4, and the ones with the highest conversion rates are service pages, not blog posts. Blog posts are very important, but start with the pages that are going to make you money. So this is a report, and I know it's probably hard to see, but again, you'll get the slides. This is a report that I pulled from GA4. I had to create it, little help from my friend Andy Crestodina, who showed me this. But it shows me in that column the landing pages, the first page somebody got to on my website, how they got there, like what method did they find, and then this column is the engagement rate, which is basically did they end up filling out a contact form, which is how I measure leads. So I go through this and I notice a few things, and this is all going to be memory because I can't see that word. Shit, no offense, sorry. The top result, this is like I think almost a 30% conversion rate, and it is an organic search from Google, but it's to my contact page. So my assumption is, my hypothesis is that somebody already knew my company, they did a search on my company, they get me as a top result, and then one of the site links is contact, and they just go right there so they can cut right to the chase and contact us. Not much I can do to improve that page or drive more traffic there, so no big worries. But as I scroll a little bit further down, I see this, I think it's around 13 to 19%. This is one of our service pages. And this is a page about Google Ads. This is a money-making page for us, and like whatever the percentage is, 13, 19%, of those people to come from a Google search, come to that page, end up reaching out to us to do business. That's a page that if you were in my shoes, you would start focusing on first. Other couple things that I picked up when I was looking in here is that another one that's close to 30% is Clutch.co. And you may not have ever heard of the website Clutch, but it's basically like Angie's List for digital agencies. And there's always going to be a Clutch or an Angie's List for your industry. And if you start seeing that that traffic is coming in and converting well at your website, then you should spend some more time optimizing that page. So for us, that means we've never spent any money with Clutch, we've never advertised there, but that's going to be our next step, because if I can get 3 times as many people coming in from Clutch and keep that conversion rate, I'm just going to be keeping my team busy and being more successful. And then there's another one down there that's similar to Clutch, and again, high rates of conversion, so I should focus on that too. It's not exactly SEO, but while you're in there, check out to see where else you can be driving traffic. I mentioned earlier that we want to be writing for our ideal customer, and we can forget about everybody else. This is actually one of the places where AI can really help us. So let's pretend that we are a marketing agency that works with general contractors, the owners of general contracting businesses. So what do? I go to ChatGPT, and I ask ChatGPT to basically create a buyer persona for an overworked owner of a general contracting business, and seconds later, ChatGPT delivers for me. And it gives me a breakdown of pain points and how they approach their business and what they're going through and all this. And it's a great place to get started, and you can do this right away. But pro tip, garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't really know your ideal customer profile or your ICP or your buyer persona, this is not going to be as helpful, and you're going to get bad information. So here's what you can do, and this is awesome. Go and interview 5 of your best favorite clients. Do it on Zoom or the equivalent. Use a tool like Fathom or the equivalent, which is an AI tool that does summaries and transcripts. Take those transcripts, upload it to ChatGPT to refine this buyer persona so that you really understand who you're writing for. And this is going to be a critical piece, because every piece of writing you do, you're going to be writing for that person, their pain points. And it's called ChatGPT for a reason. You can converse with it. So you can ask it about, they named this character Alex. I find that they name every character I come up with Alex. I think it's because it's gender neutral. But so what are Alex's pain points, marketing pain points? What marketing services does Alex need? And what kind of Google searches does Alex do? And I can get answers on all those, but let's look at the one about the marketing services. One of them, the top one, is websites. And then it gives me a bunch of other things that Alex may be interested in. So let's just start with websites. We've got a page on our website about websites, building for contractors. So I asked ChatGPT to create a framework for that page, optimized for the words, I think it's something like websites for contractors. And seconds later, ChatGPT has given me the framework for a page that should be successful at the search engines for Alex when he goes looking for a website developer. Now, I could actually have ChatGPT write for me, but I'm a little egotistical. I think I'm a much better writer than ChatGPT, but we'll put a pin in that and come back to it. So I would take this framework and I would build out a page with using this as kind of like a guide on how I want to create this content. And I mentioned blogs are maybe the next thing you want to do, but you can do the same exact thing using blogs too, and you just get it and it'll give you the framework for a very successful blog post too. But if you are not a great copywriter, or if you have multiple people writing for you and you want to ensure that they're all using the same voice for your brand, you can train AI to write like you. So I did it by doing a custom GPT, where I fed it examples of my writing, including, I think Judy mentioned earlier that she had scraped all of her content from LinkedIn. I scraped my LinkedIn content, my Facebook content, email posts, emails I sent out, blog posts, and trained ChatGPT to write like me. And then I asked it to summarize my writing, give me some feedback. I refined it a little bit, and now I can have it emulate my writing style. I'm still going to check everything, but it takes a lot of that brunt work out of the way, and you can use that too. And again, in the downloads, I walk you through step by step how to do that for yourself. Now, I mentioned websites for contractors, or marketing for contractors, but honestly, that was just guesswork. And that's where we start to use some of the SEO tools that are out there. Here I have Ahrefs, but there are free tools that you can use. This is more of an agency level tool. And I can see that I think it's like marketing tips for contractors was what I was looking for, and it's very easy to rank for this phrase. I only need to get about 4 inbound links to this page, and I should be in the top 10 listings, according to Ahrefs. Except that I see that there's only 20 people a month who are doing that search, and that's probably not enough business to keep me in business. But I also noticed that there is a section here that tells me the parent keywords, and it's something like contractor marketing. Again, I'm going by memory here. Contractor marketing, and so I try that instead. It's a little bit more difficult. I'll probably need to get 10 inbound links according to Ahrefs to that page, but it's still very easy, and now I've got 800 people a month who are searching for that term, and that is probably more than enough business that I need if I can crack that top 10. And these are just some of the tools that are in Ahrefs or similar products to help us on our trip, our journey. One of my other favorite tools these days is completely built on AI. It's called MarketMuse. Great tool. Not associated with them, but I love it. And there's 2 main ways of using this, either for research or optimizing existing content. So this is me doing some research into the phrase contractor marketing. And basically what MarketMuse does is it looks at the top 20 results that Google is serving up, and then it breaks it down and tells you what's going on, which is incredibly helpful because that's just good market research. So this is my main keyword, and these are all the related keyword phrases, how many times a month they're searched on, and then these colors right here represent, for the top 20 pages, how often those pages are mentioning those particular phrases. So if I want to get in the top 20, I probably need to use these phrases too. I can also go into the X-ray section and actually get a page-by-page breakdown, including how many images does this page have, how many videos does this page have, how long is the page, how many words, what is the intent that this page is trying to serve up. This says no, which means it's KNOW, which means it's informational content. But then the number 3rd result is transactional. So this would be like our service page. This is the competition, and we now have a roadmap for how we can get into the top section of Google, all things being equal. You can also use it to do research on existing pages. So this was a page on our website on Facebook ads, a service we offer, and it was not doing very well as far as search goes. I opened it up in MarketMuse. In MarketMuse, you just put in the URL, the keywords you want to go for, and it gives you this breakdown. And you can see here, no you can't because I just skipped over it. You can see here, I can edit this page in real time, and MarketMuse will continue to update my ranking for this page, my score for this page, and when it gets to a certain point, I will know it is ready to put back into the real world. I've done this for several pages on our website, and each one of them moves up in the search engine results page. I think this is a very powerful tool. That was a lot of the approach in terms of how I think you have to come at SEO these days. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff really quickly right now. Timer, how much time do I have? An hour and a half? Excellent. All right. 15 minutes? Okay. All right, I don't have to go as fast as I thought I did. All right, so when I think about SEO, getting on the first page of search engines, I think of 3 major things that you want to do. Organic search, which were the original 10 big blue links. Local search, if you have a local or a service area or a local office. And then paid search, which is not exactly SEO, but the results show up on your search engine results page, so I think it's critically important. And as we saw, if you're doing the research and you see that there's a whole bunch of paid ads at the top, you know you're going to have to spend money because you'll never get to the top of Google search results for those type of transactional phrases unless you're willing to play the ads game. So organic SEO breaks down into 3 things. We've got on-page optimization, which basically means, are we using the words that our ideal customer is using when they go to Google? Off-page, are we getting enough relevant links from other websites to ours? And then technical, have we made our website a welcoming space for Google's and other search engine spots? So the first step is going to be doing some keyword research. And you can use a tool like Ahrefs, which I use, but you can also use free tools, and one of them is Ubersuggest, which is this one right here. I actually probably recommend you check out Google's Keyword Planner, which is also free, and I just feel it to be a much more robust tool. So you can start putting in your keywords that you want to rank well for, your products and your services, maybe some informational queries that you get or your sales team gets. Put in long tail searches, searches that aren't done very often, but show that somebody is ready to make a buying decision. And also scour your FAQ section on your website if you have one, as well as your competitor's FAQ section, because maybe they've already done your work for you. All those words you put into these keyword tools, and they will help you understand what are the keywords you should be using on your website so that you'll come up for more relevant searches. And then you get to work, and you put those optimized pages. You start with your home page, your service page, like I mentioned, your about page. For some reason, your about page can rank really well. And then also blogs, articles, resources on your website too. As you're putting this together, I want you to think of a few things. One is, every page gets a focus. So if you are in the, if you're a therapist and you have group therapy and teens and kids therapy and adult therapy and couples therapy, that is not one long page. That is 4, possibly more pages, where each page deserves attention and focus and keywords, because it's just that one page. Few people are coming for couples therapy and for children's therapy at the same time, at the same place, right? So it's like when people come, you're only talking to that one person. So focus each page narrowly. Your title tag should always start with your best keywords. You want to put the keywords into the headers and the subheads, and I'll show you that in a second. And you want to use semantically related words. So you don't want to just repeat the same word over and over and over again. And then you also want to use power words. Power words like best, cheapest, fastest. Because how often do we do a search at Google like best Bluetooth speaker and things like that? And you want to come up when people are putting in those power words. And then where do you put them on the page? Well, the most important place is in the title, which doesn't actually appear on the page, but that link or that title ends up being the big blue link on Google search result page, or purple because I had already visited that page. That's critical. And then you also want to make sure that it goes in your H1, your header 1 tags. You also only want to have one H1 tag per page. And then you put it in your H2 tags, and if you have more, you can put them in your H3 tags, and you put them in your body copy. And this page does a really good job of doing this. The only thing that I would recommend is, assuming that some of those related semantic keywords have pages about them, the services they do, they should link immediately over to those pages, because that will help with your SEO as well. And then you also, when you've optimized all your on-page stuff, you want to start moving into getting links from other websites to yours. This is how Google separated itself from the pack. It started paying attention to how people were linking to other resources. And if you have websites that don't get a lot of links but have good content, they will not rank as well as websites that have decent content but get a lot of inbound links. So this is the difference maker. If you can't seem to crack that top 10, this is when you really need to start paying attention to inbound links. But it is the least sexy and least fun part of SEO. It is just grunt work. But there are some ways that it actually can be enjoyable and you can still get those really good links, and these are a few of them. You can write for other publications, other blogs in your industry or outside your industry, because those will create links back to you. If you have a local paper that allows you to create content for them, a lot of times local papers will allow you to do that for free, and you can get a link back to your website. Those are great too. Get on podcasts. We heard that earlier. Terry, I think it was Terry was talking about it. Podcasts with show notes create links back to your website. So that's an easy get when it comes to getting those inbound links. Find industry-specific directories like I'm doing with Clutch or Angie's List or whatever the industry-specific guide is or directory in your business. If you are a local business, sponsor local events and teams. They will almost always have a link on their website back to yours. And if you are local, look for those local guides and directories too, because that, again, they'll link to your business, and those links can pack a powerful punch. And then the technical SEO stuff. So these are just things you want to make sure that you are not doing. You want to make sure that your site is encrypted. So you should have HTTPS and not HTTP. Your page speed should be, you should not have slow loading pages. That definitely pings you poorly in the search engine results page. Missing alt tags, missing meta tags, those are bad. Any broken links going on your website or even off to other websites, that can be a negative signal too. And then just bad user experience. If somebody comes to your website and it's difficult to use, or you're serving ads and the ads are making the page go up and down and things like that, those are all things that are going to hurt your search engine visibility and hurt your business. Local search is similar. The algorithm is similar, but there are some differences. The biggest difference for local search, if you're a local company, this is important, is proximity. How close you are, your business, to the person doing the search. Unfortunately, this is very difficult for us to change. I mean, if you're a financial advisor, you're probably not going to open up a food truck that creates these kind of services just so you can drive around hoping to get closer to somebody searching. So there's not much you can do about this, but one of the most important things you can do is claim and optimize your Google business profile. This service is free. It gives you increased visibility in the search results. It gives you control over your presence. It allows you to respond to reviews that people leave on Google about your business. And it just gives you more marketing opportunities. Reviews will also drive you up the page as well. As long as they're steady and positive, reviews make a big difference. And you can see in this local pack, there is a lot of reviews for these businesses. Now, if you have hundreds or even thousands of customers a year, you may want to look into some software that will help you automate this process. We have a few clients like this. We've got a plumbing company and one that does interior design, and they have a lot of different clients. They automate everything. We set them up with some software, and they are so far ahead of the competition in terms of the reviews they're getting, which keeps them at the top of the local pack. You can encourage reviews. So if you do have an opportunity to talk to somebody, we only have like maybe 20, 25 clients a year that we take on. So I can talk to each one of them. And if they say to me, hey, Rich, I really love the work that Rachel did on my Google Ads, I can say, hey, would you mind leaving us a review on Google and give that person a link so it makes it easier for them? I can even suggest some keywords. Hey, you told me that you loved our Google Ads work. Would you mind including Google Ads in your review? Because you will sometimes see that when somebody does a search on Google Ads company near me, that it pulls in the words from the review. So you can do this. So those are some things that you can do, but don't go over the line. Don't leave reviews for yourself. Don't tell your crew to leave reviews for you. Do things above board, but you can kind of massage that messaging to help you at the search engines. On your website, just some quick tips for ranking higher in local searches. Reference your location. That's probably a no-brainer, but honestly, I've gone to websites, and they're like, nobody in my town knows me. And I'm like, you literally don't mention what town you're from. That could be part of the problem. Include your physical address, not your mailing address, on every single page on your website. Your local phone number, not an 800 number. Pages for each location if you do have multiple locations. And embed a Google map on at least your contact page and maybe on every page on your website in the footer as well. And then get local links like we were talking about before. And then just to wrap things up, Google Ads, it's not SEO, but it is critically important, and the results show up on that same place. So it's going to start with the same kind of keyword research. You're going to target your audience. Obviously, you're targeting them based on the words they're searching for, but you also can layer in things like geography, gender, age, demographics, because Google knows all this stuff anyway. So you can really start to fine-tune this, work on your bidding. That you don't necessarily need to be number one. In fact, there's an argument to be number two because you get less accidental clicks that way. Create a list of negative keywords that you don't want to rank well for. We had a client who was doing their own until we came on board, and we saw that they were targeting the word retirement because they do retirement planning. But every time somebody queried, when did Tom Brady retire, they would click on that link without thinking and suddenly be at this website, and it was not good traffic for them. So Tom Brady would be on their negative keyword list. Create specialty landing pages, because if we're going to spend money to get this traffic, we want to make sure that people convert. So we want to make special landing pages that are optimized to get conversions. And then, depending on your industry, take a look and see if you qualify for local service ads or Google screened as well, as those are pretty powerful. So priorities as you walk away today: start with your keyword research. Attack those service pages, those money-making pages first. Develop helpful content. That's what will get you those inbound links. Attract relevant links. And then measure everything. We didn't get to talk about Google Analytics too much, but Google Analytics GA4 is your friend, understanding how people are finding you. Last thought is just, you're not trying to rank well for everybody. You're only trying to rank well for your ideal customer. So focus on them. Use that tactic I showed you, using AI to create those buyer personas. This is the free resource. So this is what you want to get. You'll be able to download the buyer personas, how to create buyer personas, how to create a brand voice, my local SEO checklist, the organic SEO references, resources, paid search guides, this slide deck, and more. All you need to do is just give me all of your personal information and data. No, I'm just kidding, but you do have to give me an email, but you can unsubscribe after you download all this stuff. But I think you're going to want to stick around because we've got a lot of great resources. If anybody wants, I'm around all day. I love talking SEO. We can talk about your SEO, but I really want to thank you for your attention and appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.